Hey everybody, welcome to my top 10 movies that I like but everyone else dislikes or hates. Yes, I am taking inspiration from Doug Walker when he did this, I think earlier this year or last year. And I know I've done something similar like this to an audio video, and some people thought I was crazy with that list. But that was like a top 25, if you will. This is, of movies that I like personally. My top 25. And you guys can say it was a joke and all that, and it was not a good list. And you got all the entitlement to your opinion, and that's fine. If you feel that way, that's okay with me. I have no problem with that. But this is basically like Doug did with his video, looking at the top 10 movies, in my opinion, that I feel I like, but everyone else dislikes. Now, you might agree with some of these, and you may disagree. You might actually come out and say, well, I liked it too. So, let's start off. First of all, I will say it's not going to have no countdown or anything. I'm just going to show the movie right to you. Not footage, but show the DVD that I have of the movie. And you might be surprised by my choices. So let's get started, shall we? So let's count it down. So number 10. The number 10 movie that I like, but everybody else dislikes and hates. Starting out with number 10, Space Jam. Now you might say to yourself, that's kind of a surprise. Well, it's not really. I mean, I do like Space Jam. I really do. I thought it was a very clever idea. Some people I know don't like it. I know Doug, when he did the Nostalgia Critic review on it, said he didn't like it. But the reason I like it is because it's the first real true Looney Tune film. It's not a compilation film or anything with a story within it. It's one straight up film. Now you might say, well, they kind of stole ideas from Roger Rabbit with the live action and the animation. Yeah, that's true. They may have, but it's actually pretty good. I thought it actually had a good story. I mean, technically, you have the Looney Tunes on the verge of basically a win-lose situation. I mean, well, first of all, you have the Looney Tunes basically on a lose-lose situation. They're good. Some of them, like Bugs Bunny, are good at basketball. But as soon as they face the aliens and see what the aliens have become, thanks to stealing the talents of the NBA players, it's basically a lose-lose situation unless they go out and get the best NBA player of all time, which happens to be Michael Jordan. So, I like how they have to go out, basically drag Michael, into this scenario, saying, look, you got to help us, or else, basically they're just telling him, hey, if you don't help us, we're going to lose. And all that entertainment we give your kids and give you guys is going to be gone forever, because all we're going to be doing is locked up in cages on the moon and trotted out to perform when we're told to. So I thought it had a great dynamic. I thought the storyline was good, and it is funny. It's got some funny moments in it. I really like that. It is also known, of course, as the debut of Bugs Bunny's equivalent now, his opposite, if you will, Lola. And you can definitely tell that there's a difference between the Lola now than the Lola that made her debut here. Yes, she kind of showed a little bit of funniness at the end of the movie after Bugs kissed her and everything, but definitely more of a, she'll get right in your face, ass-kicking Lola Bunny, and I like that. So it's pretty good to have her as the equivalent to Bugs and everything. Overall, it also had a great soundtrack. You can't deny that. I mean, I Believe I Can Fly, I think, won a Grammy or something like that. So, yeah, I know some people don't like it, but, hey, I thought it was good. And I thought it was a good film, and that's really all I can say about it. And that's why I started out with top 10. Number 9, it also falls in the equation of I liked it, but I'm sure some other people didn't like it. And that is Scooby-Doo, the 2002 live-action film. I know there's a lot of fans of Scooby-Doo that did like it. I mean, I went to the theaters and I saw this movie, just like I went to the theaters and I saw the second movie. But I can understand why some people, like even Doug Walker, feels that it wasn't a good portrayal of Scooby, because basically, in their minds, it's nothing more than a parody. It's a spoof. It's a parody and a spoof of Scooby. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought, what they were doing was, and even Doug points this out, some of the actors are trying their best to be who they are. I mean, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar, you got what's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda Carlisle, and Matthew Lillard trying their best to be who they are. Because it's like they say, you look at Linda's character, you look at Matthew, and you don't just say, oh, that's Matthew Lillard and that's Linda Carlisle. No, you go and you look at them and say, oh, that's Shaggy, that's Velma. And even with Sarah's character portrayal of Daphne, you kind of say to yourself, you know what, that is Daphne in some ways. That is Daphne. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s portrayal of Fred, I have to say, is kind of just Freddie Prinze Jr. being himself, but he is trying. Let's face that. I thought the story was good. I mean, I know how some people feel. They feel as though, we should have got more explanation. And when you take a look at one of the alternate beginnings, they actually have an alternate beginning to the movie, and the ultimate beginning to the movie, which would have been animated, which is animated, and a lot of people have said that should have been used instead of what we got. But overall, though, I thought it was good. I thought it had a great story of them kind of, going their separate ways, and then slowly coming back together. Slowly, because of this case, coming back together, even though they're brought together because of one person, and that's the villain, who turns out to be not exactly who we think he is, who's played by Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. We think it's him, but then we find a twist at the end that it's not, and that it's Scrappy. So, and I understand they did the Scrappy thing because of fan service to fans that didn't like Scrappy. So, the cast even says in the commentary that Scrappy's kind of like at the bottom of the list of popular characters. And then if you go who's the most hated character, he's at the top. So, I can understand that was a bit of fan service. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. Great. It had a good story in my opinion. Yes, it introduced the character of Mary Jane as a love interest to Shaggy that never appeared again after this, but still, I thought it was good. I thought it was a great live-action introduction for Scooby-Doo movie. I thought they did pretty well, and really that's all I'm going to say about it, and that's why it's number 9 on my list. Number 8. Number 8 to me, I think, is one of the best adaptations of the Three Musketeers story ever, and that's the I think it's, what year is it? 1993, I believe. I think it's the 1993. Trying to see the year here. I think it's 93 or 94. Adaptation, I think it's 93. It's between 93 and 95, I believe. Adaptation, I think is one of the best ones of the story. Walt Disney's Three Musketeers. I thought this was very good. The action, the story. They follow the story very closely. They put their own unique little quirkiness in there at times with the characters. But I thought it was very well done. Very well done. The scenery. The scenery you get is great sometimes. The cast that they chose to portray certain characters, you got Charlie Sheen in there, as I think, trying to see, as Porthos or something like that. You have, he does a great job. Does a great job there. Keith Sutherland as Athos, I think, is great. I think, not Porthos. I can't think of the names right now. The three, but overall, again, I'm sorry, I can't think of the Three Musketeer names right now. I'm sure some of you will put it in the comment section. I appreciate that if you do. But I thought they did a perfect job in getting these people to portray the characters. You have Chris O'Donnell in one of his first early appearances as D'Artagnan, did a great job in my opinion. Rebecca Del More as that, whatever her name is, lady, I can't think of her name either. I gotta see the movie again, but she does a great job, and I like how it kind of, for those of you that don't know the story, I like how it kind of connects her I like how it connects her story with Athel's his character. That's who Keith Sutherland plays, and how they're basically they had a relationship together. I love how they do that. It's tremendous. I like how it allows her to redeem herself at the end before she actually jumps off the cliff to her own death instead of letting herself get beheaded. I mean, I love how they do it. I mean, overall, this story, this adaptation is, like I say, one of the best ones. I know they had a newer one come out a year or so ago, but I don't even think it can match up to this. And this is definitely, when you think about Walt Disney adventure movies, this is one of the best examples right here. Just a tremendous film. I'm surprised Nostalgia Critic Doug didn't do a review on this or anything. I'm surprised nobody's really done a review, but I thought it was great. I don't know if anybody else liked it, but I did. And that's why it is, in my opinion, one of the movies that I like, but I'm sure other people don't, or hate, or dislike. So, yeah. And number 8, Three Musketeers. Again, number 8, great movie. And oh yeah, Tim Curry as the Cardinal, tremendous job. You couldn't ask for a better actor. But overall, great movie, and that's why it's number 8 on my top 10 list of movies I like, but I'm sure other people don't. At number 7, we have a Goofy movie. Now, I know a lot of people will probably say, well, a lot of us like a Goofy movie. Yeah, there are people that like a Goofy movie, but then again, there are those that don't. And the reason they don't is because some people don't like it because of the way it's portrayed. Some people come out and say, well, some people have come out actually and said, well, it's not really a Goofy movie, it's actually Goof Troop the movie. Even Doug Walker says it in his Disney-cember series. When he talked about it, he talks about that it's actually Goof Troop the movie, but he said a lot of good things about it. The animation is great. The voice, the cast, the chemistry, the stories, overall it's a great story, great chemistry between the characters, great romantic chemistry between, and almost realistic chemistry between Roxanne and Max. I thought Kelly Martin and Jason Morrison did a great job on those, with those two characters. I thought overall the songs were okay. Even the Tevin Campbell songs, Eye to Eye and Stand Out, were great, perfectly placed where they were. They placed them perfectly right in the film, in the areas of the films, because it just worked. It was tremendous. I like how again the story between Max and Goofy is very well developed, and basically it allows them both to get an understanding of why the other feels the way they do. So, yeah, definitely a film to check out, in my opinion. You got to give it a chance. If you don't like it, give it a chance. But that's why it's number 7 on my top 10 list of movies I like, but apparently some people don't, and that's about it. Alright, number 6 is the 1987, originally meant for theaters, didn't happen, became direct-to-video, direct-to-television movie, the original G.I. Joe, the movie. Now, this isn't the special edition version by Shout Factory. This is the Kid Rhino version, release, I should say. But G.I. Joe, the movie. What more as a kid can you ask for if you're a fan of Hasbro's G.I. Joe? What more can you ask for? I thought they did a great job with this. To me, I thought the story was very well done. The animation was top-notch, no doubt about it. It's based, and of course, basically, it's your typical story done back then, where you kind of introduce the newer characters and you kind of take the other characters and push them to the side. They really didn't do that with this movie. You actually had the newer characters fighting alongside the established characters, and I thought that was really good. I like how we find out the origin of Cobra Commander, and we find out the origin of Serpento, and how he wasn't originally an idea by Mindbender, but it was actually an idea, planted into Mindbender by the overlord of Coppola, Gulabolas. I like how we get a good explanation of how, it just wasn't really an idea he came up with in a dream he just had. It was a dream supplanted in him by Gulabolas. So I like that they give you connection right there. The overall story is great. I thought they did a top-notch job with this. The intro, better than you could ever expect. I think they even used the intro for regular episodes at times, but it was overall just a great movie, and I know some people like it, some people don't. I thought it was good. I think the reason some people don't like it is because, from what Buzz Dixon says, is that originally it was supposed to have Duke die, and they, apparently some people, and even Buzz doesn't like the movie because he couldn't keep that in because of what happened with the movie I'm going to talk about later. But overall, I thought this was good, though, despite the changes they had to make. Overall, it was good, though, and that's why it's number 6 on my countdown. Alright, number 5. We're getting into top 5 now of movies I like but other people hate and dislike. You might think I'm cheating on this one, but number 5 is all 3 live-action Transformer films. That's right, all 3 live-action Transformer films. I know some people don't like what Michael Bay has done and everything. I get that. I totally understand that. But to me, if you're a die-hard Transformer fan like I am, it doesn't matter to you what you think. It doesn't matter to you whether it's good or not. It's the Transformers. It's the fucking Transformers live-action movies that you've been waiting for. It's the movies you've been waiting for. And I like how each movie sort of has a connection to the last, but it's its own original story. And that's what I like about it. I know some people don't like the movies because they say it's a betrayal of the characters or it focuses too much on the human characters. Let me tell you this. The human characters were just as important part of the animated series as they are of the movie. Overall, I thought these movies were good. They may not have been the best stories added, but I thought they were good for what they were. The stories, the story overall, in all 3, the stories overall individually are great. There's no doubt about it. They're just tremendous. I mean, you got to sit down. You got to give these movies a chance. You really do. I mean, you can't ask for anything else. I mean, if these movies weren't good, if the stories in these movies weren't good, let's be honest. Michael Bay wouldn't be working on, along with Steven Spielberg and other people, wouldn't be working on a 4th film and maybe a 5th film. What does that tell you, folks? It tells me these are good and people like them. So that's why Transformers, so far the entire movie franchise currently, all 3 movies are number 5 on my top 5 movies that I like but people don't. Alright, at number 4, again cheating a little bit, is all 3 of the original Spider-Man movies. That's right, all 3 of them. And I know some of you may not like all 3 movies, and that's perfectly understandable as well. But, to me, I think they do a great job here. I mean, basically, it's all one story. It's different villains and everything, but when you look at it, like from a human perspective, like let's say you're a hopeless romantic. From a romantic perspective, you look at the characters developing. Even Doug said this in his top 10 countdown. You see the characters evolving and growing throughout each series, throughout each movie. The romance between Mary Jane and Peter, it starts to slowly grow and everything, and it's like right at the end of the first film, after she kisses Peter Parker, it's like she has that look on her face like she now knows. She knows Peter and Spider-Man are one and the same. And I like how that slowly progresses. Like it takes the second film for her to realize, you know what, I'm not meant to be with this guy. I'm meant to be with Peter. So, again, it's just a tremendous film, and I like it. I also like it how it develops the Harry Osborn character. Osborn sees, Spider-Man, but blames Spider-Man for the death of his father. Second film, he finds out Spider-Man is Peter, and then the third film tries to kill Peter, but then realizes what he's done is not really his fault. So, overall, just great character development through all 3 films, and that's why this series, to me, the original, is one of the best. superhero films, franchises, movie franchises they've done, and that's why they're number 4 on my countdown of movies I like, but some people don't at all. Or dislike and hate, I should say. Number 3, again, I know people are going to say I'm cheating, but number 3 is what I consider, when you put them all together, you just put one title card next to it after the intro. The Doomsday Project movie from Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic SatAM, basically all 4 final episodes of Season 2 put together, edited well together as a movie. Now you're saying, I know, again, you're going to probably say, well, Brian, you're cheating here. Hey, if you ask Zara Nazarak, you ask those that I've sent this movie to, and they will tell you that what I'm saying is fact. This is a movie, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice and dice it. This is a movie worth watching. When you take out the title cards of the other 3 episodes, and you only use Doomsday, and you carefully edit it as you fade from black, you go fade into the black and into the episode, you'll see exactly what I mean. Overall, the story on it, I'm sure anybody would agree, is great. I like how they get the Freedom Fighters team together. I like how Tails becomes finally a freedom fighter, proves himself. You know, it's just great character development all throughout these final 4 episodes. And it's a great climax. I like how finally Sally acknowledges to Sonic that no matter what happens, it's not just you going alone anymore. I'm with you because you mean more to me than just being a friend. So I like that. I really like that. Again, overall, there's not much more I could say about it. But you got to check this out for yourself. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's why it is number 3 on my countdown. All right. Number 2. Again, cheating a little bit. I know you're thinking, oh, he's doing a lot of cheating here. But number 2 is all 3 original X-Men films. And this is not counting the Wolverine movie, and this is not counting X-Men First Class. This is counting the original ones that started them. I know some people may have a difference of opinion on them. I thought they were good. I thought they were great. I thought the stories were great. I like how they kind of continued and built off each other. You know, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the first one, I thought it was great. When I saw the second one, I thought it was tremendous. I mean, I went and saw the second one twice in one day. Twice in one day. And I remember sitting there next to a guy after the ending of the movie, and we saw the Phoenix, silhouette in the water. And we were all cheering. I remember high-fiving a guy right next to me saying, oh, yeah, the Phoenix! But it's real. I mean, I like how they build off each other and continue one after the other. I mean, I know some people have the problems with it. Like, some people feel that the second was slow. The first was an introduction, the second was a slow development, and then the third was like, this is where things get done, this is where shit gets done. But, and I can understand that, and I do see that, but overall, it's just, they work off each other. There's no doubt about it. They continue and develop every character, from one movie to the next. It's really great. And I like how it progresses Storm's character, Halle Berry's character, from where she is from second in command in the first film, all the way to where she's now the teacher, the overall master teacher, if you will, at the Xavier Institute, because Xavier getting killed in the third film. I like how that develops. So it's really great. And I like how they play off the situation in Liberty Island in the second film, which also progresses in the third film with Jean Grey's evolution in her powers. So overall, altogether, just work well off each other. I know some people have the differences of opinions, feel they could do better, but you know what? You can't ask for any more than what you see here. I mean, it's just great. They chose a great cast of people to portray the characters, and it's like he said, when you see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you don't see Hugh Jackman, you see Wolverine. Kelsey Grammer as Beast, you don't see Kelsey Grammer, you see Beast. Patrick Stewart as Professor X, you don't see Patrick Stewart, you see Professor X. Halle Berry as Storm, you don't see Halle Berry, you see Storm. So overall, just tremendous choice and work. and that's why it's number 2 on my top 10. And number 1 of movies that I like, but some people don't, it's going to be a surprise here, Transformers, the movie, 1986 release. The original 1986 animated film. I liked it so much. I've watched it over 1 billion times with my sisters. I know some people didn't like it because of certain reasons, like the death of Optimus and this and that. I know that some parents who took their kids back then to see it in the theaters didn't like it because of the violence. But you know what? I have to agree with what people said. This set the bar. This broke the bar for what you would expect in an animated film. And the animation's great. Despite how you feel about it, the story's great. It is kind of Star Wars-esque, if you will, but it is a great film and a great movie for the Transformers, animation-wise. I don't think you'll ever see something like this ever again in theaters nowadays with the restrictions they have, but I thought it was great. Right? I thought the animation was good. I thought the introduction was good. The actors and actresses that got to portray the cast of characters in there was a great choice. Overall, there's nothing wrong. Not much wrong you can go with this film. So that is why it is number 1 on my top 10 movies that I love, but I'm sure everybody hates and dislikes. And again, I understand some people may have a difference of opinion. That's okay. You're entitled to it. But if you want to respond, go ahead, respond down below. Comment if you like. And I'll talk to you all later. Thank you for watching. Excuse me there.